Welcome back to another episode in the Unleash Potential podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Haji, as always, alongside Mr. Jabbar, Guled, Almi, and Hassan.
Full house.
How you boys doing?
Yeah, good man.
Guled, nice to have you on board this week.
Yeah,
Back again.
nice
Back
for having
again now. Is it the Ramadan vibes kicking in already?
It's kicking in.
Question: did you watch the last week's episode?
Yep, how to prepare for Ramadan, yeah.
How to prepare for Ramadan? Have you taken any?
What's funny?
Has it benefited you in any way?
This guy's got the famous laugh, Continue. So it's the Elms, man.
Keep going, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what'd you take out from last week's episode, man? You prepared?
It's what? It's less than 24 hours away, isn't it?
What, Ramadan?
For
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
For us.
the time of recording, yeah.
What have you learned from last week's episode? Summarize it for us.
Obviously, get into a habit, a routine, so that it becomes a habit for you after Ramadan. Like better yourself. Get rid of habits that you had before Ramadan that were leading you away from your faith. Just basically just working on yourself as a person, religiously, and as a person, becoming a better person. You know. That's
MashaAllah. Just checking if you've seen it, man.
I
Now,
feel
for this topic, man, we're gonna talk a little bit about last week's episode, what we learned from it. We'll be talking about the Ramadan plan. I'll be asking you guys about the Ramadan plan if you guys have used it, and hopefully, inshallah, some of our viewers have used it, and just a bit of the essence and what Ramadan aims to teach us is inshallah what we'll be talking about throughout this week.
Are you not cold, bro? Sorry, man. I had to ask. You're the only one here with like a short sleeve shirt.
Oh no.
He's on his way to the Bahamas.
He's on holiday.
He's on a holiday.
It's cold, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm not, man. I got cold after this, but today's a beautiful day. Actually, it's not that bad.
The flu hasn't hit you?
Nah, the flu hasn't hit me, man.
Probably is, bro. You're sitting next to you today.
The flu hasn't hit me, but
I'm gonna blame you.
hopefully I don't get it tomorrow.
It's okay.
Hopefully I don't get it tomorrow.
Sharing is caring.
Hey,
Yeah.
are you guys going to Tarawih tonight, inshallah?
Oh, definitely.
Inshallah, yeah.
What are you guys going to be praying? Mirabuka.
Only mosque.
Only. Mirabuka. Are you close by?
I'm in the middle of everything, so it's the same either way. But
Same with you? What about you?
I don't know yet. Maybe Vic Park, maybe Thornley.
You got the options.
Yeah. And
I've
Turkish
got
is
options
right here
too,
too.
like right near my house. I've got
Southern
Thornley,
River?
Gosnells,
Southern River.
Southern River.
Okay. So let me ask, what's the reason that you go to a particular mosque during Tarawih? Because
That's actually a
people
good question.
have a lot of different reasons, right? There's some people that go because it finishes quick.
That's Turkish mosque for me. Turkish mosque.
There's some that
Turkish
go
mosque.
because
They do
like
23 rak'ahs in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
rapid
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
straight. You know, they used to call them Imam Ferrari.
Habib,
You know, that's what
I was praying behind.
Yeah, man.
I was praying behind the Turkish Imam Mosque, and he read Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the full surah, right? And then he said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, ثم دنا فتدلى. That's one ayah. Allahu Akbar.
Damn.
Bro,
ثم تنا فتدلى.
I was
One
surprised
ayah.
actually.
Allahu Akbar.
I only started praying at Turkish mosque when I was living in Queen's Park, and literally I lived behind the mosque, and I thought it's walking distance. I was walked it, and I was prayed, and exactly what Haji is saying. He reads 2 or 3 ayahs down.
عبس وتولى أن جاءه الأعمى. Allahu
They're
Akbar.
praying 8 rak'ah.
Well, look, technically,
No,
if
but
they
I understand
if they pray
the
with
demographic,
three ayat,
There's nothing wrong,
and
actually.
the demographic, yes, is like the older population, or
90%.
maybe the youth who are not interested in salah because it becomes a burden on them.
Yeah.
It depends on
No,
the
90%. 90%. The first 8 rows is mashallah seniors.
But you know what's funny? One of the Turkish brothers, I told him, "Oh, you guys pray actually quick." He goes, "Yeah, man, brother. A lot of us are construction workers. We've been working all day, Habib. You know, the quicker we get prayed."
But see, Vic Park, they take their time, an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours.
The reason why I go to Thornley is because firstly they do the 30 juz of the Quran. Secondly,
Reunion, high school reunion.
Secondly,
I'll tell you that much.
not only that. Secondly,
Of
it's so
course.
spacious.
Yeah.
The mosque is big, and they have 4 qaris or 3 qaris. So you're not only listening to one.
You get a mixture.
Yeah, you get a mixture.
variation, Yeah.
So you're looking forward to it. You know, it's just amazing. Mums go there, the kids.
For me, I go to Padbury,
Oh.
which
Oh,
is Hepburn.
Hepburn, yeah.
Hepburn. I go there only because when I go to Mirabuka, I always find a lot of noise, a lot of kids running around and just disrupting your
Yeah,
ability to
yeah.
focus,
Yeah.
right? So, but when I go to Hepburn,
Hepburn.
it's just amazing.
That's
Like it's
normal.
just so quiet.
Yeah.
It's just that's not to say I don't want to see kids there.
Yeah.
But like if you've got a child, if I bring my child, for example,
You'll
to
make sure
Salah,
that they.
it's right next to me,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because
Last
that's the purpose of it,
Yeah.
right? But not to the
Let
like,
them run over free. Yeah.
Yeah, not too much. You know?
We grew up in that Mirabuka Mosque, so our focus is a little bit different. We can drown all that out and just straight onto the Salah.
It's,
like that
it's
every year.
background noise now.
Yeah, it's
it's
just
not even-
background noise. It's just, yeah, no worries.
But
It's always
I'm sure
because
I'll
all
Do
the
you
time.
do you do you remember that time that time we left for Gold Coast from Sydney and we prayed Salat Fajr Bukhari house.
Yeah,
The Imam that was reading till this day, that's the only day I've ever prayed
Sheikh
behind
Khalid.
him. That Imam Sheikh Khalid, yes.
Yeah.
That day, till this day,
Yeah, it's amazing.
wow. It's like one of those qaris when they read, they put you on a trance.
Yeah.
You travel somewhere,
Yeah.
and you only wake up when he says Assalamu alaikum, and you're like, Tarawih is done.
Yeah, I know.
Wallah.
There's some mashayikh, for example, when you even not just tarawih, when you do like tahajjud with them,
Yeah.
man, you forget about sleep.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, like this guy is
Why does he
writing
finish
this,
so quick?
this melodious tone
Yeah.
and this wave, and he's just hitting
Yeah.
every
When the-
single note, and you're
Especially
like,
when they hit the high
bro,
note, wow,
yeah.
it takes you
They
somewhere.
hold it. They hold it. And
It
you're
just it
sitting
hits
there.
you a different kind of way. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
You know,
When I was
the
in
verse.
Africa, I used to pray at this mosque. It's driving distance, but it was right in the middle of town. And the three sheikhs, they were like 20 years old, 22, 21, young qaris, because you have a lot of young qaris in Africa. And one of them would read on Ali Jabbar, you know, Jabbar Ali, Sheikh Qari, Sheikh Jabir, I think, I can't remember his surname.
Sheikh Al Jabr, yeah.
Sheikh Ali Jabir, yeah. Another one reading Sheikh Shuraim. Literally, they will sound like exactly like them.
Yeah.
And the third guy had his own personal tune. But I mean, but you're right. When you hear these voices, and Tarawih finishes, you're like, has it finished already?
Yeah.
Of the top famous qaris out there, just a question: who's your favorite qari to listen to?
Oh, Saad al-Qamdi.
Sa'ad Al-Ghamdi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just there's
I'll say
something
one, but I don't
about
think you guys have heard of
Who?
him. Abdul Arkani.
Abdul. No, I know his brother. I think Fahd Al-Khani.
He hasn't got the full Quran on audio, but
Oh,
Abdul Arkani. Yeah.
it varies, man.
Yeah,
He does
you mix it up
man.
because
No,
some
obviously you don't have one complete favorite.
Sa'ad
but like one that
Al-Ghamdi,
you
Sa'ad
listen to
Al-Ghamdi,
most.
but I love him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is,
yeah.
like,
You know,
from the full Quran, he'll have like 50 or 60% of
When he reads
the-
Surah to Yusuf, oh,
Yes, you know what I mean? Like certain surahs.
Yeah,
you know,
where-
because
yeah.
they
yeah,
feel
they
it.
feel it,
Yeah, yeah.
It just hits them differently.
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
Sudaisi, no one can go, no one has, everyone loves
Can't
Sudaisi.
go wrong.
Of course, but
Yeah.
like
But
his one is
I
not like,
prefer Salah Al-Bukhatir.
Oh, yeah.
Over Sudaisi.
there's Mahir al-Mu'aqli as well.
Yeah.
Mahir Al-Mu'aqali. Something I can't listen to, but it's not on my list for some reason.
There's this Afghan reciter. What's his name?
What about Muhammad Al-Kurdi?
Yes.
Muhammad
You
Al-Kurdi.
heard it?
Very slow.
Tartib.
Yeah.
No, Sheikh Ahmed Ajmi.
Ajmi? Al-Ajmi?
Al-Ajmi.
Al-Ajmi,
Is he
yeah.
Afghan?
He's
I
Afghan.
think he's Afghan. Yeah.
That Sheikh.
Amazing.
Listen to Surah Amma and Abasa.
Ah,
Yeah.
Don't worry about the high surahs. Go to Amma
Yeah.
and Abasa.
wow.
You will love those two
Too
surahs.
much, man. Yeah.
Okay, when you listen to a specific sheikh, what is your favorite surah to listen to?
So, okay, I have a favorite surah,
Yeah.
and that's Surah Hud. I don't know. There's
Surah
just something
Hud.
about it. I just
Okay.
love it. And even when the Prophet ﷺ was asked about it,
Yeah.
they came to him and they said to him, look, one of the companions said to him, you've gone really like grey beard, you've got grey,
Yeah.
like you've become old kind of
Yeah.
thing, you know. And he said, this is from Surah Hud. Whenever I recite Surah Hud, the amount of the message that's in it
Yeah.
has basically made my
Hey,
hair grey.
Great, yeah.
From that level, like that's how much. It is.
MashaAllah.
And because obviously, like it mentions all the different anbiya,
Yeah,
and it gives
100%.
you know all the different stories about it, and I don't know, man, I just like it.
For me, it's Taha. I love the story of Musa. Surah
Surah
Taha.
Yusuf, man. For me.
Yeah, same.
I love it. Every sheikh that recites Surah
No,
Yusuf recites it.
Surah Taha for me, because I actually learned in full detail the tafsir of that surah.
Mashallah.
Complete.
'Cause you understand.
So when I read it, I
Yeah.
understand everything that's being said. Right?
It's a different thing
when
when
you
you
can
fully understand it.
Yeah.
It is.
Then you're
That one
following.
there.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh wow.
Wallah,
Yeah,
wallah.
it's crazy.
And yeah, just the story of Musa in general with Fir'aun and everything was just too much.
I'll ask you guys a question.
What about you?
You're right there, mate.
I know.
Let me ask you guys a question. You know, like,
thinking.
obviously, now you're married, it's your first Ramadan, but when you guys were at home, even with your parents, do you guys come to your, like, you know, iftar, you come home as soon as iftar is prepared, or do you try to avoid it,
I used
all
to-
the smell of the food, or, you know,
Me, I used to leave the house for the last hour before iftar and walk in.
Right
Just
before.
right before
You
iftar.
just want to look
Oh,
like
man.
you're a guest, yeah, and walk back in.
Walks in.
No, but
Like it's-
see, I moved out of home when I was 18. So before then, I wasn't really expected to help out much. You know what I mean? Especially when I was younger. Okay, when I was 15, 16, yeah, fair enough.
But do you do it out of expectation? Is that why? Like,
What?
Because you're expected to help out, therefore you help out?
No.
Why can't you do it because you expect yourself to help out?
no,
I
when
never
you're
thought of it that way.
yeah.
But as I grew older, like when I go to my auntie's house or whatnot, I'll help out, you know? I'd be like, yo, it's unfair and whatnot. But before then, it was just like, yo, the smell of the
They
food
gotta
is
cover
really,
it.
yeah, they gotta cover it. The smell of the food is causing me too much pain. I'm out.
See you at
They all-
iftar.
But
See you
iftar
in an
time,
hour.
the minute,
Get my plate ready.
The-
Nobody
the
take
big
my
plate.
seat.
and you know, we used to have the big clock with the
Yeah.
adhan.
Yeah.
The minute that goes off, I used to hear from outside. I'll
Yeah.
walk in. And I'll be the first one to grab something off the plate. So, Allah. It
I'll
was,
phone in
that's-
first one grabbing it. No,
Yeah.
I help out. Because I'm the second oldest. We have a big family. So
Yeah.
when I was really younger, I used to be taking care of the kids while mum is cooking.
yeah.
And then once they got a little bit older, it was helping out mum because they couldn't.
Yeah.
And that was
we had
Mashallah.
we had 3 boys, like, you know, in our family that, like, were obviously close in age. So my dad used to go, after the iftar, tonight it's you're doing the dishes, you're sweeping the floor,
I love it.
you're doing
Yeah.
everything. Tomorrow it's on
Everybody knows
you.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
and my dad will expect that right before we go on Tarawih, it should be done.
Yeah. So between
Yeah,
iftar
yeah.
and tarawih.
There's no arguments.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll have our iftar, my dad will be chilling in the lounge. What are you waiting for? Go. And then we used to tell, me and my brother used to make a deal, like, bro, you do the sweep the floor, do that. Tomorrow I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Come on, I got
Nah, see, the thing is, like, I know his dad and my dad, like, mashallah, they've gone soft now, but back then,
Yeah.
you know,
You don't mess around.
you don't
No,
question.
that's all right, no question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once something's done, it's said. There's not too. We got to the point where it's like you don't even plead anymore. It's like it is
Still,
what it is.
Just get it done.
For
Yeah.
me, like growing up in New Zealand, I used to help my mum. But then when I started working 2 jobs, then
Right.
it got a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll break my fast on the way
Yeah.
to Salah, on the way home. And then when I get home, they've already eaten and packed
Yeah.
up and everything. So I'm just having like a little something.
Yeah.
Same as when I used to live in Sydney.
Hmm.
I used to help out here and there.
Yeah.
And then when I used to live alone, obviously, you know, you cook for
Yeah,
yourself.
you cook
know?
for yourself,
You don't
yeah.
make anything, that's your fault. You know?
Yeah.
That's a you problem, right?
Yeah. That's no problem.
So yeah, and then when I started living with my aunt as well, I'd usually there was a point in time when I wasn't employed for about
Yeah.
3 months or whatever,
Yeah.
and it coincided with Ramadan as well.
Yeah.
So it worked out perfectly,
Yeah.
and I was just helping
All
out.
hands
Yeah.
on deck.
Yeah, all hands on deck, you know, because I'm available.
Yeah.
So you know, I'd just help out
Now,
wherever I could.
now I have to
Now,
help out.
now it's a different story.
You don't
Now,
help
as I said, we have to have iftar at my
Yeah.
mother-in-law's house,
Yeah.
and now I've got a child as well.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to help out, the one thing that I would like to help out with is
Babysitting.
Yeah, babysitting.
Yeah.
You know, take care of her
Yeah.
so that
So
the
you guys can.
ladies-
Yeah.
You leave the professionals to do certain things. right?
100%,
Like, I'm not
100%.
saying I'm not gonna help out
Yeah.
cooking. If they need it, absolutely. But you know, my skill set is limited compared to theirs.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And
One-
it's better
one round
served
fries.
at freeing them.
When you're fasting the whole day, you
Yeah.
don't want to mess it up.
100%,
You know, you don't.
100%.
So, yeah, absolutely. I do
No.
help out just in different ways, you know. Same with the packing up and everything. I think everybody forgets that.
Yeah.
After you've eaten,
That's it.
your stomach is full, you can barely move,
Yeah.
you can barely breathe.
Yeah.
let alone,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah. And somebody's saying,
Also, like, we cook too much.
yeah,
for
pack it up.
There's a lot of food that goes to waste during Ramadan. Families cook a lot. Cook more than
More than is needed.
Yeah, more than it's needed, man.
Yeah.
And
But
I think it's something that you
it
should.
It still gets
eaten
finished.
by-
It still
by
gets finished
Sahur.
throughout
Yeah.
that night. It's
Yeah.
getting-
By
Nah.
Sahur.
Because
Everybody's hiding out at
Yeah.
some point.
After you break your
After
fast, you go,
Tarawih.
you pray Maghrib, whatever, you come back,
Yeah, you eat a bit more.
you eat a bit more, and then you go to Tarawih,
You come back, you eat a bit more.
And then before bed, you're like,
Yeah,
I might
yeah,
not
yeah.
wake up.
Yeah,
you
eat a bit more,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So-
And if you got kids, they'll have it for lunch tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Food always gets finished, bro.
Food always gets finished. Big spilk.
I reckon let's, yeah. I reckon let's get
That's
into
right.
the topic, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
How you guys been, man? We talked about Ramadan last week, preparation for Ramadan. Ramadan is literally knocking on our door.
Yeah.
Inshallah, a day or two, depending on where you live.
Less
So
than
it's the
24
flu.
hours. Man.
So is the flu, exactly. How you guys feeling? How has your week been? How productive has your week been in terms of preparation? If we look back at our previous episodes,
Man.
I've done nothing, eh?
honesty, I like that.
I'll be honest with you, mate.
Sucking up the fridge, huh?
Nothing, man.
No preparations.
Not even mentally,
Tonight.
like you haven't.
You know how last week what we were saying?
Missed the sale.
You know, you're gonna prepare and everything for the test.
Yeah, you're the crammer.
I'm a crammer. I'm about to fail the test, bro. Because I'm, inshallah.
Nah, inshallah, you won't fail the
Yeah,
test.
you know,
That's
but
see,
inshallah you won't fail.
that's the reason why I wanted to start off today's talk with that question, because I know there are a lot of people that I know personally that haven't had the opportunity of preparing, even though we talked about it and they did listen to the podcast. But that's exactly what I want to talk about first thing. That it's not too late. You know what I mean? Just because you said you haven't prepared and you're a crammer doesn't mean you're going to fail the test. What you do from now throughout the month determines whether you pass or fail. What about you
Giving me
guys?
hope again, eh?
There's always hope.
It's always,
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Do not despair in the mercy of Allah. Even if you rock up on the last day of Ramadan and you make the most of that one day, it has the potential of very, very huge impact. You know what I mean? Especially some of the impacts being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day during the month of Ramadan releases people from hellfire. You know what I mean? That one day could make that difference. So there is always hope, and it's good to see that even amongst us, we're not perfect. There are some of us that aren't prepared, some of us that are semi-prepared, and some of us that are prepared. You can never truly be fully prepared. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And appreciate the honesty, wallah. What about you boys? How you guys been?
Yeah, I've been just trying to get into a routine, because for me work is night shift, day shift.
Yeah.
As well, it's a bit all
That's a
over
good
the
point.
place.
So how would you navigate through Ramadan, especially with your
It's
fast?
just like I said, just getting into that routine because I know the night shifts are going to be prepared, have lunchbox, everything sort of ready.
Yeah.
And the day shift, it's just really making sure you have that routine right.
Yeah.
And knowing what you're supposed to do and that sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times your sleep schedule goes out of whack when you
Yeah.
have that. So fixing it now rather than that first week of Ramadan and struggling.
Yeah.
That was probably the main thing I was doing this week, and then just also picking up on the Quran. I think those are the two things I focused on.
Exactly.
So not 100% preparation, but
I like that. See, people that do night shifts, some of the things that they've got to
Extra
look at.
challenging.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the things they've got to look at is, Qiyam al-Layl might be difficult, Taraweeh might be difficult, but there's other things that you can do throughout the day. What about you, Guled? You weren't there on the episode,
I
but
wasn't-
hopefully you've listened to it.
Yes, definitely.
You sure?
Yes. Yeah.
We're going to make sure.
Ramadan actually, wallah, to be honest, it's come so fast, that
And the thing is,
not a lot of these people even realize that it's around the
and
corner.
the thing is, we'll be, on the week of Eid and be like, yo, Ramadan is done.
It's done.
You know what I mean?
The
We
Eid
said that
halfway.
last week. We are already a week since we had our last episode. You know what I mean?
Look at that now. But it's what's even, obviously, living in a Western world is extra challenging for a Muslim person because obviously your time schedule is different to you. You might have a family that have siblings that are working while they're having iftar, or they're not having iftar together
Yeah.
due to obviously other life reasons. But for me, generally just prepare and memorize or read as much Quran as you can.
Yeah.
Try to finish the Holy Quran, even if it's not memorizing it, just reading it.
Reading it. Yeah.
And also getting into a habit where, you try and pray at least most of your salahs at the mosque.
Yeah.
And even
You work day shift, right?
Yeah,
Different to Umar. So how does that affect? How does Ramadan affect your work schedule?
I don't think it affects that much because, at suhoor you're having at home. As soon as you have your suhoor, I'm going home to work.
Yeah.
Iftar, I'm home, so I'm having iftar with my family.
Yeah.
Taraweeh, I can pray, then just start the routine again, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
So not much of a.
not much of a not much of a. But then obviously still it's challenging because you're working around non-Muslims who are not fasting.
Yeah.
So you also got to remember fasting is not just fasting from your food and drink and eating, but it's also controlling yourself, like your tongue, and all
Yeah.
that. You're fasting from your eyes, everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So and being around non-Muslims is challenging because sometimes they might be saying things, and then you might want to react, but you're fasting. You know, you got to control yourself.
Yeah.
It's a test.
Definitely.
Definitely has its challenges.
MashaAllah.
Definitely, yeah.
What about you, Amr Hassan? How's your week been, and how have you tried to prepare since our last?
Week has
Catch up.
been a little bit hectic.
Yeah.
With my daughter not feeling too well, she's got the flu, and I think she started to pass it on to me as well. So,
I've got it
Inshallah,
myself.
give her fast
Passed
recovery,
on,
inshallah.
passed on from
Inshallah.
I mean.
but in terms of preparation, like, I think everybody understands there's fundamental
Yeah.
preparations that you need to do. That's like your routine.
Yeah.
You know, try and alter it to try and make sure that it's in the swing of things
Yeah.
by the time Ramadan hits.
Exactly.
So I've been trying to focus on that, like waking up a little bit before Fajr and trying to, you know, sleep a little bit after Isha, you know, so that I can get enough rest.
Yeah.
And do a little bit of, you know, Qiyamul Layl here and there, or, you know,
Yeah.
reciting Quran, or trying to memorize a few things here and there. So you've got these fundamental changes, you know, trying to alter your routine, and you've got the food, for example. So we did a bit of grocery shopping as well.
Exactly.
You know, you can imagine
Exactly.
things that don't involve lunch meals,
Yeah.
but involve, you know, breakfast
And dinner. Yeah.
you know,
All at
so
once.
like, yeah, all of these things, and you know, the carrot juice comes out
Oh,
in
yeah.
Ramadan as well. So,
Ah.
you know,
I'm a bit iffy on the carrot juice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Never had
Okay.
carrot juice before, bro.
Really?
Is it good for you?
I love it.
Yeah.
Love carrot juice.
I lived in Sydney, so you know that's all you see.
Yeah. Nah. See that
If
in
you
Sydney.
lived in Sydney,
Exactly. Especially if you go to Lakemba areas and.
Yeah, there's two things that are popular, right?
Yeah.
There's carrot juice and the camel burgers.
Now see on the camel burgers, I'm with you. That was
burgers?
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
You had
Wow.
it
Camel burgers.
After Tarawih,
I don't have camel
the,
burgers,
night,
bro.
the,
didn't
the
have
streets are filled
Yeah.
with people just, you know,
Yeah.
juicing carrots and barbecue and camel meat and
Camel burgers, I've never had
bro.
camel
It's crazy, man.
Habib, 2 years ago, on average, just to that suburb in Lakemba, on average between Taraweeh, like after Taraweeh until Salah Subah, they said it averaged 20,000 people per night.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
The vibe that you get there.
Yeah,
It's,
at any one time. So not 20,000 people come and then all leave. At any one time, from after Taraweeh to Salah Subah, 20,000
Wow.
people per night.
So yeah, man, just to pretty much answer your question, yeah, we've got the fundamental changes, I think, which everyone
Yeah.
has tried to implement. I've been trying to work on that.
Yeah,
And then you've got what we spoke about last time,
yeah,
trying to reap the most out of Ramadan.
exactly.
And what I try to do on a regular basis, not just with Ramadan, is I try to write down like all of my goals,
Yeah,
what I want, and
a visual plan.
it, like I try and compartmentalize it into different parts of my life, like
Yeah.
my you know, my health,
Yeah,
my marriage, you know, me as a parent,
yeah,
me as just, you know, my personal development, how
Yeah.
I want to grow as an individual. And I've got my spirituality side, and then I've got my, you know, family and friends, and
yeah,
all of these different aspects, my finances, my careers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then what I've tried to do is focus on one sort of like per month.
yeah.
And now with Ramadan sort of hitting,
We know
I'm
which one's
focused on
key
my
highlighted.
spirituality.
Exactly.
And so when I look at my spirituality, I'm like, okay, so what do I actually want? What's one thing that I just want to change? If I could change one thing about myself spiritually, what would it be? If it's to come closer to Allah, if it's to read more Quran, if that's what I want to feel at the end of Ramadan, then how can I do that? And then I've taken the planner and looked at what I can do on a daily basis consistently to just, you know, like after Fajr Salah, in order to get closer to Allah, maybe I want to do a bit more dhikr.
Yeah,
And that's what I've tried to look at, and that's what I've tried to implement. And you know, it's obviously hard, you know, with changing your lifestyle. It's a little bit
It is.
different. And when you're focusing on one aspect and sort of, it's not like you're neglecting the other aspects, but
you're highlighting
giving
that one.
Yeah, you're not giving it more weight as
Yeah.
you do with spirituality,
Yeah.
right?
Right? Have enough energy, man.
Exactly.
yeah,
So, you know, there's a lot of things that are sort of going to take a little bit of a backseat. But yeah, definitely, I've been looking at my goals, not just in a month,
Yeah.
not just for spirituality,
Yeah.
but looking at it as like bigger picture. Trying to pick one thing and just try and focus on it. And just that's what I've been mentally trying to prepare.
yeah.
We'll know tomorrow, inshallah. You know, if
Inshallah,
Ramadan
how it
hits,
goes.
No,
Goals.
inshallah,
you know
everything's
how
in
it
progress.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, inshallah.
What about yourself, man?
Allah, for me, this week flew by. This week flew by. I got hit with a bit of the flu as well, myself. Picked it up from my wife, my friends, guys at work. It was just bombardment.
Everywhere.
And for me, for those of you that know me, when the flu hits me, it doesn't hit me very often, but when it does, it comes hard. It comes at me hard. But alhamdulillah, I've been trying to work with that. But in terms of what spirituality, what I did for me is I tried to put a sense of, I don't know, not accountability or competition either, but between me and my wife, to try and motivate each other to be better. You know, for example, we set some goals in terms of how many times or how many juz I can read throughout the month. Allocating time that we would have spent together going out and whatnot to actually minimize a bit of that, and spend time together at home reading Quran or listening to lectures, and just me personally as well. You know, I've hit a stage in my life where alhamdulillah I'm married now, you know, and the next step is inshallah kids. You know what I mean? And I don't want to become a parent when I'm not at that stage where my father was. You know what I mean? Like now when I look at it, whatever love I have for the deen, whatever love I have for Islam, whatever love I have for learning came from him. You know what I mean? And if he didn't love it enough, he wouldn't have emphasized it enough to teach me. You know what I mean? So like I'm trying to, with the help of Ramadan and inshallah continuing, get to that point where, you know, like our parents right now, they'll tell you, oh, it's prayer time, without looking at the time, no alarm clock, nothing. It is registered within them. You know what I mean?
They just wake up for Fajr without an
alarm clock.
That
You know what I mean?
always used to amaze me, man.
It comes down to the love they have for it. You know what I mean? And if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not at that level. You know, like I'll miss a prayer here, I'll miss a prayer there. If the adhan doesn't go off and I'm playing a game, you know, that game will continue. You know what I mean? Whereas for them, it's like regardless of what they're doing, I remember times I'm driving with my dad and we'll pull up on the side of the road and pull out the prayer mat and pray. You know what I mean? And I didn't see him look at a time. No adhan went off. Back then, we didn't have adhan apps and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So like, inshallah, for me to get to that point where I have the love for the deen to a certain level where it's like, okay, I love it enough to love it for you too. Not just by word, but by action. You know, that what I preach, I'm practicing. And that's the goal, inshallah, I set for myself. It's a long goal which inshallah will carry out over many Ramadans, inshallah, if we get the opportunity to experience it.
I want to maintain a streak, bro, like this whole 30 days.
Yeah.
I just want to pick 3 things and just maintain the streak.
Maintain,
you know,
yeah.
Like all 5 salah done every single day for 30 days, you know.
I've actually got a calendar where I didn't put a number to it, but I just wanted to maybe do a few things where, like probably salah and, you know, maybe one juz of Quran where I can cross it off. You know what I mean? Once you see that progress going on, that's when, because I think a lot of people are like me too, visual. You know what I mean? When I have a calendar on that wall, I'm like, all right, I crossed 2 days. The challenge, you set it on yourself. You know, but when you're not keeping account of it.
There's an app, actually, it's called Strides. I don't know if you guys heard of it. So it's basically similar to that. Like it has a visual calendar. You can write, I think on the free version, you can write up to like 6 different goals and sort of track them. And then you get like a physical representation of each and every day that you've done, and you check in and you log in. So, and it came off this idea from, for example, Seinfeld. I don't know if you guys know
Seinfeld, yes.
Yeah, the comedian. What he used to do is every single day he would force himself to tell a joke, right? Or write down jokes. And every day that he did, he would put like a post-it note on his wall. And it got to a point where it was so long and so big that if he missed a day, he would get anxious about it and he would, you know, panic. He'd force himself to write another joke so he could put that. Like it got to that level where now he wants to.
It's a habit, it's a habit.
So if you have like a calendar, a lot of people get the Ramadan calendars, and they get the, you know, when suhoor is, you know, the prayer times and stuff. use that.
Yeah.
Why not? You know,
Exactly.
like
Cross
just
off the-
cross it off
Yeah.
if you know you've done it, and
Yeah.
then you'll see.
Yeah.
You know, like with your salah. With
And
the
then
Quran.
if you want as well, like set a reward mechanism for yourself at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's what me and my wife have between each other. It's like if you accomplish your goals and like you're true to yourself at the end of the day, if you don't do it and you say you've done it, you're cheating yourself. You know what I mean? Be true to yourself. And then it's like, all right, you'll get this or I'll get this. You know what I mean? So yeah, set a reward mechanism for yourself.
If we do it for the full 30 days, we're going on a 2-day vacation on 8 day. Yeah.
you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we miss a day, we're just going to lunch.
We're just going to lunch, exactly. You get what I mean?
Yeah, half day.
Exactly. Which is pretty good. Now, wallah, this will be my first Ramadan as a married man as well. Inshallah, first Eid is a married man as well. So wallah, like this Ramadan has got a different like excitement, this different vibe to it for me. You know. And wallah, I hope all the single brothers out there get to taste it one day, inshallah. I really do hope so.
Inshallah.
But Ramadan is all about connecting to your faith, right? I want to touch a little bit about carrying that faith over to when you're going through hardship. You know what I mean? Like, because it's all good and well to talk about Ramadan as a month, right? But Ramadan was sent to us not just for that month, but for us to take lessons out of. So what are some lessons that you hope to take out of Ramadan? Now that we've talked about a bit of preparation, some things
there's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot, yeah.
Like in itself, the whole program itself, there's just so much. The fact that it's 30 days shows you that you need to maintain a habit for about 30 days.
Yeah.
The fact that you need to go to Taraweeh and get in that environment to maintain you within, to maintain that habit, shows you how environment is very key to your success or, your failure. The fact that, you have to plan ahead of time and get into it, like how we discussed.
Teaches you that practice,
teaches you that you need to plan beforehand for your success or for your... The fact that Ramadan is in itself a training camp shows you that, you yourself, each and every year, you need to develop and you need to get better and you need to train yourself.
And detox all the evil out of you as well.
Exactly. And, the health benefits that come with it and maintaining the fact that you can't live the same way for 12 months of the year.
Yeah.
You have
Something's
to
got to
switch it
change.
up. You got to shock your system.
It's a boost for the rest of the months.
Yeah, whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, you have to shock your system, reboot it, and get it back up and running again.
But with what you said is it's making sure that you maintain it through the whole 30 days to build that habit.
Yeah.
Because like you said, yes, even though you're not prepared and you start halfway through, you still try to get the most of it, but you don't build that habit.
Yeah.
That makes it harder for you to do it after the month.
To continue it after.
If you start right at the beginning and continue it every single day through the 30 days, it makes it easier to continue afterwards, rather than messing around the first 2/3 of the month and the last 10 days taking it serious and then trying to continue. It becomes a lot harder because the shaitan comes out, the environment changes, all of that gets stripped away, and then now it's you and your habits and how you can deal with it.
Exactly.
And then it becomes a bigger hurdle.
And the fact that Eid is kind of like the reward for
your
your
training, exactly.
Or for your efforts.
It's like, all right,
you need to
exams
have a reward
over.
system. You
Reward
need to
system.
celebrate the small wins. You know, like you need to be able to reward yourself at least a little bit, so that you can feel like you've done something, and it doesn't just feel like it's something that's just continuous and it's never going to end. You need to have some sort of reward system, and that goes with life. That goes with everything. All your goals that you set, you need to chop it up into sizable chunks and have reward systems in between as well.
I think the greatest thing that people need to keep in mind when going into Ramadan is after Eid, it doesn't mean you stop it there.
No.
It doesn't mean you continue fasting every day. But the habits that you've taken, know that Shaitan's going to come at you hard now. You've been good and, pure for 30 days. He's going to come at you hard.
The best of you are tested the most,
Exactly. So after Eid, it's like everything goes back to normal.
That's what Umar Hassan said. It's a training camp. It's a training camp for the rest of the month.
Exactly.
It's not like, okay, I'm succeeding during the month. It's the easiest to succeed during this month of Ramadan. Because you're surrounded by friends. You have to fast. The shaitan's locked up. This is when it's easiest for you to build those habits. It actually starts after Eid. You have your Eid, you have your celebrations. Okay, cool. Now, what habits did you develop to conquer the next 11 months? So you can come back around to Ramadan and then build it up.
Every little act in Ramadan teaches you a lesson. Like, for example, going to Taraweeh makes you have that love of going to the mosque regularly.
Yeah.
And for example, your parents, the mums and wives cooking the iftar shows how important family is and kinship. Every little act of Ramadan has a lesson behind it that you can take and use that after Ramadan. You know, like for example, you know, after Ramadan, not a lot of people pray all their 5 salats in the mosque.
Yeah.
And if they do, they pray and they quickly go out. But during Ramadan, you know, you have that feel, you sit, read Quran after your salat, then go, you know, I mean, it's teaching you, not only, it's exactly what Jabai and Umar Hassan said, it's training you for the next 11 months.
Yeah.
You know, so that you can become a better person and build that routine and habit, so that you're doing it constantly. You know, obviously there's gonna be downsides. No one's perfect at the end of the day, but it's what's more important is taking Ramadan and putting into practice for the next 11 months.
It's also got that vibe where I think everybody, around the world just feels the vibe of Ramadan. Everybody's more proud to say I'm a Muslim during Ramadan. You know, like I'm
Have you
fasting.
guys ever had iftar, Ramadan in a Muslim country before?
No.
Well,
The closest was
Not a Muslim country, but I've had Ramadan in a country where, in a place where it's like Muslim dominated, and it's very different.
Unbelievable.
It's very different.
Mashallah.
I had 2 days of Ramadan in Malaysia, so I can't really say fully had Ramadan, but those 2
you can
days,
feel it, you know?
it's different. It's different. The whole like if you go out throughout the day, most of the restaurants are closed. You don't really smell food, but come 5 o'clock, the whole country smells. The whole country smells like food.
You know, it's funny. The last 10
Allah.
days of Ramadan, you pray the Tahajjud Salat. You know, like
Oh,
midnight
yeah.
prayer, and they pray here, but not a lot of people know they're praying. Mosques are praying
Yeah.
because everyone's sleeping. You know,
Yeah.
but when you're in a Muslim country, people don't even go to sleep after Taraweeh. They stay awake until the Salat.
Yeah.
The
That
shops,
must becomes a holiday.
the
pretty
shops everywhere is buzzing. You know, everyone is looking forward to that Salat. And as soon as that day, the mosques are full. You can't even find a place to pray, man. It's just amazing
listening
vibe.
to you guys, I sort of thought of another 3 key lessons that you can take from Ramadan in itself as well. The first one, when you were discussing about, you know, doing it constantly and having that habit and building it,
Yeah.
it shows you that, you know, who you become during the month of Ramadan is more important than, you know, how you celebrate Eid.
Yeah.
Because Eid is just a reward for your efforts.
Yeah.
But it's not the purpose for your efforts. The
exactly.
purpose for your efforts is taqwa.
Yeah.
Who you become.
Yeah.
Are you more conscious of Allah
Yeah.
or not? Like, that's you. So whether you don't go regularly or not, as long as you're trying, as long as you're maintaining it and putting in effort, and you're getting better than what you were when you first entered Ramadan, then you've become better. And you've become a little bit more conscious of Allah and a little bit more, you know, more better as an individual. And that's much more important than, you
that
know,
is the
going
reason,
through Ramadan continuously and then celebrating Eid Day and then going back to normal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You have not realized the purpose of Ramadan is to make you a little bit better and a little bit more conscious of Allah. The second thing, what you were talking about, the idea of, you know, family and everything, that also shows you, like, just Ramadan in its essence. There's different aspects to your life, right? As I said, when I look at the different aspects of my life and I write down all the different goals, I try to focus on one of them per month, right?
Whereas this encompasses.
This encompasses it all.
Yeah.
Everything. It jam packs it together and shows you how important each and every one is. And above all, it tells you don't neglect these different aspects of your life. If you've neglected it the whole year, okay, then we'll give you this 1 month Ramadan to focus on just your spirituality. Because life is more than just about the body and its desires. It's more than just about going about eating and drinking and, you know what I mean, and just going about your day to day and trying to earn money and everything.
But that's why they say Islam is not just a religion; it's a way of life.
It
You know
is.
what I mean?
It is. If you take the chance to look at it as that, if you look at it as like just a set of rules and responsibilities and it's a burden, and you don't look at it as a gift, you know, to try and open your eyes.
And also looking back at the things you do during Ramadan, after Ramadan, while you're in hardships, it's the way to solve your hardships. So if you're not in Ramadan and now you're falling on some hard times, go to the masajid. You know, go to the mosque, go to your family, ask for some advice, read the Quran. The things that you do in Ramadan, just even though you don't continue it afterwards, when you do fall on those hard times and you find it hard to continue or have your faith or whatever it is, just look back at Ramadan. What did I do during Ramadan that made it so easy? And then go fall back on those things. That will help you a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the third thing that I wanted to mention was, it's not how you start, it's actually how you finish, right? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts a lot of weight on
the last 10 days.
10 days. Because, you know, you can stumble your way and get all the way to the end, but at the end, if you go strong and you go hard and you focus more, by the last 10 days, you should be well into the swing of things, right? Yeah. And it doesn't make you less of a Muslim or less, of a person that hasn't earned the benefits of Ramadan. It just shows you that, look, the last 10 days is beneficial because it's how you finish, not just how you start.
Exactly.
But you have to start.
You have to start at some point.
Exactly. In order to finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't just wait until the last 10 days. It doesn't work like that. Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. And the thing is, there's also like you said, the last 10 days. If you haven't started from the beginning, I remember a couple of Ramadans back, I wasn't really making the most out of Ramadan, and I was like, you know what, the last 10 days, right? And then you get to the last 15 days, and then you're like, all right, you know what, I've got 5 more days until the 10th. I'll try to shape up. Before you know it, it's day 20. So 10 days left, and then you're like, oh, okay, tonight's an odd night. You know, if I miss it, it's okay.
I've got
next night, and then you're like, you know what, they say it's about the 27th, and then you get to the 27th, and somehow, wallah, ajib, somehow something comes up. It's like something's stopping you because you haven't had the intention of trying to get better, you know what I mean? And then you just wake up and you're like, oh, it's Eid today. I went through Ramadan maybe even coming out worse than I was, you know what I mean? And so don't delay it for another day. As long as you make that bit of progress every day, a little bit. Again, it's about your intentions. You know, you go to sleep tonight, inshallah, with the intentions of fasting Ramadan, you know, and every night you do the same. As long as you've got the intentions and you make steps towards it, no matter how big or small, inshallah, you benefit the rewards.
Inshallah. A lot of people think that just because the shaitans are locked up during Ramadan, that there's nothing coming to
I remember as Alvi said, you know who the real shaitan is.
But like you're saying, you know, I'll 20 days will pass and I'll be like, now there's 10 days left.
Yeah.
But your nafs inside you is actually one of your worst enemies at the time, because he's telling you, pushing you side backwards. It's not only just because the shaitan's not here or it's locked up, that doesn't mean that you haven't got any obstacles, you know, in front of you.
Your own obstacles.
There was a really good analogy, and sorry to stop you. There was a really good analogy about that. How they said if you get a cup and you're stirring it,
and you take out
the water or whatever it is that's inside, and you take out the spoon, it's going to keep stirring and it's going to keep turning. That's just like you, right? So shaitan might stir you and everything, but then when
he's
Ramadan
plucked out,
he's plucked out and locked up, you're still going about your day-to-day habits. You're still going about it.
And that's the thing. Like I think the biggest thing is the struggle with your desires. You know, you might, because if we're gonna be honest, sometimes it happens to all of us. It's like you think to yourself, you know what, I'm gonna take 20 minutes out to read Quran, right? But then you get that phone call from a mate. Hey, I'm outside. Hey, I'm gonna go get coffee. You wanna come down? You know what I mean? And you start to automatically you lean towards what you think is good for you, not what is actually good for you. You know what I mean? Automatically, and then sometimes coming back to the power of thought, and I think Ramadan emphasizes that a lot as well. Is saying no to things that you would have said yes to before. You know what I mean? Going out. You know, spending a lot of time throughout watching movies. You know what I mean? It's
but having that planner makes it, because if you have that planner, you in the
exactly
Ramadan, 15 days already crossed off. Your mate calls you and you're like, nah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna exactly.
But if you didn't have anything there, you just go back to what you normally do, which is.
I remember last year Ramadan, there was a friend of mine who was trying to quit a bad habit, and he went for 16 nights before he finally decided, all right, I've been good, let me reward myself now.
MashaAllah.
and there's only 14 days left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it broke, and that habit is still there till today. You know what I mean? So if you do get to halfway, like
And reward yourself with positive things.
exactly,
But some people reward themselves with the negative that they were trying to break.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like I've been off it for 2 weeks. I'm okay today. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
There's
allowed.
a reason why you went off it.
Exactly.
Because it wasn't beneficial.
Exactly.
But to return to it,
Yeah,
it's just,
but yeah, have that planner, and inshallah. Have you guys used the planner, by the way?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
the Ramadan planner?
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
I liked it because it was simple, because you don't have to put too much. Just
the
really
thing.
focus on what you
you
need
can
to.
just like write one thing or two things,
just
you know,
really
on,
focus
for
on
each
it.
one.
I struggled the most with what I wanted to write after Subh, after Fajr prayer.
For most people, it's, you know, you're going to work after Fajr, right?
Me, I've got time. You know what I mean? But normally I take that time after I pray, jump back straight into bed.
Mm.
You know, and actually setting something for that time and be like, all right, you know what? Instead of taking that 2-hour nap after Friday prayer, Fajr prayer, I'm gonna stay awake.
But to be honest, though, after Fajr, that sleep,
Oh, you think
it's
so?
a new level.
I work
It's
night
a new
shifts.
level.
Brother.
So when Fajr comes
a
around, I'm
new
awake all the way to
Yeah,
Fajr.
yeah.
So when after I pray Fajr, I'm done. My body's like done.
Yeah.
I need to sleep.
Yeah.
So then taking that like an hour just to go, look, I need to read my Quran today.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge, and that's
Yeah.
one thing.
What
This
about
last week I've been-
what, do you have time? Maybe half an hour before Fajr. Since what time do you finish work?
Yeah, I have time before and after, but I always want that time afterwards, not to just because if I don't have that time afterwards, it's my prayer doesn't become as focused.
Yeah,
Because it's like, okay, last thing I got to do is pray
Pray and then
go
go to bed.
And it's like
Exactly. Whereas for me now, it's I've got a 2-hour gap every morning between Fajr and the time I have to get up to get ready to go to work. But now giving up that extra time of sleep was the most difficult part, and like I didn't want to set a goal that's too big that I know I'm gonna give up,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to set something too small because I wanted to challenge myself. So I really struggled trying to find for the first 10 days, and then the way I put it was the second 10 and the third 10 were okay, as provided that I maintain the first 10. You know what I mean? Because once I maintain the first 10, I'll be good.
Yeah.
But setting a goal for that first 10 days, I really struggled.
It's tough because you
Living-
want to slowly build up.
Yeah,
towards-
exactly.
Actually, living in a Muslim country, you know, there's people, what they do, they focus on, they stay awake all night. So after Fajr, they go to bed.
Yeah, to try and sleep today.
But if they're going to make the most out of it, it's like that 1 hour or half an hour before Fajr.
Yeah,
Like you were saying to Jabbar, they might go to the mosque before Fajr and read Quran, or because but after Fajr,
and we all know
the whole city is taking about a 2 or 3 hour nap.
Yeah. And we all know the benefits. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you sit after Fajr and read Quran until the sunrise, I think it's about an hour and a half. The benefits are immense.
I realize, but in a Muslim country, it's not only just Ramadan. They do that
every day.
every day.
Yeah, every day.
Like you see, no one's leaving. And the one who's leaving is so guilty of leaving because everyone else is sitting
Everybody
down.
else is sitting down. You know what I mean?
Because what they're doing is like they're just waiting 1 hour, 2 hours, while breakfast is getting prepared at home. They're just reading Quran, and they go home. And the Prophet ﷺ said, there's a blessing on when someone is always up early. His day is blessed. Like there's a lot of barakah in it.
Like
there's a lot of, I heard something, I can't remember the exact hadith, but your time is got a lot of barakah in getting up early, and starting your day off Fajr, not going back to bed, but also just staying up early. I think I can't remember the exact hadith word for word.
You don't even need a hadith to understand that when you wake up early. And
but as a
day,
person, you feel
like you've got so much time.
The day goes slower.
You
enjoy it more.
Not only that, it comes from the Sunnah as well. The Prophet ﷺ, from just before Salah Subah, and then unless he's doing something productive, Isha time he would knock out. You know what I mean? Unless he's praying, but the sunnah that he taught us was from just before Salah Subah to Isha time, right? And in the Quran it says, وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا. We've made the night for you to rest and the day for you to ma'ash, go about your daily business. You know what I mean?
Which one of you guys is the one that wakes up for suhoor and wakes everyone up, or are you the one that
Gets woken up.
Gets woken up.
Gets woken up, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm awake anyway, so I'll wake people up.
I don't get woken up. I don't wake up at all.
At all.
I'll have a glass of water just before Salah. That's about it. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Getting woken up at that time, it's a struggle.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, man.
And anybody who knows my
Do you
sleep
eat,
pattern.
do you eat really well before you go to sleep?
Oh no! Throughout the whole night I'm eating until I go to sleep, right? But then.
How do you find the time?
Sleep, he hibernates.
It's
What about you?
difficult.
What about you?
It depends, man. Sometimes I'm awake, sometimes I get woken up. It's just, depends.
It's a race to whoever gets up.
Whoever
first,
gets
yeah.
first, yeah,
But
pretty
who
much.
cooks in the house? Is it? It's gonna be different for you now because normal mom, not living alone or anything. Now you've got a wife, so you're gonna have to share the responsibility.
We were talking about it, right? And then I told her, "Do you actually get up and
3
eat
days,
sahur?"
5 days, fine.
And then she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, that's a you problem. I don't eat, so good luck. Good luck.
Okay, all right.
That's a you problem."
So what happens when she gets invited to a iftar and you're not invited to it? Like it's an all girls iftar. What are you gonna do then?
bro.
It's gonna be a you problem.
It's a me problem. I'm going to the local masjid, the mosque.
Ah,
I'm going
that's
to the
around the corner,
local
man.
mosque. So
I get woken up, man, definitely.
daily.
Yeah, daily. But you know what? I have my majority of eating during suhoor. I don't eat a lot iftar. Because
So what? Just dates and water.
no, I'll have my proper food after tarawih, but not a lot. Just maybe one plate. Because it's funny. My mind's telling me eat a lot, but I can't. I'll have half a plate and I'm full.
Yeah.
You know. What I mean?
The thing is, like the night before.
And I
you
think
go
with
to bed-
Somalis, the fact that they can't eat proper food is because they're having 20, 30 sambusas. That feels your
They
dullah.
wake up for suhoor. There's another 5 waiting for them.
You know what my dad used to do? My dad used to tell my mom, we'll have one sambusa, take the rest away. Because they ain't going to eat the dinner.
The dinner.
It's just true,
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Sambusas, it's oily. It's tough. You know what I mean? You should eat that after your actual meal.
But it's so hard because you're craving
Yeah,
the whole day.
yeah,
And you just
yeah.
see samosa and
Samosa
you know what it tastes like.
And
And
you-
you just
and it's unless there's other special occasions, it doesn't come out unless it's Ramadan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember when we were kids, man, there'll be like 15 sambusas there, and we'll be waiting for the clock to click.
the minute it
And
clicks.
then you have my brother like getting 4 ready for himself on this side.
Yeah, everyone's already.
I'm having 4 ready this side. And you know how the sunnah is, you start with the dates. You're forgetting about the dates. It's like we're all focusing on these sambusa to start with.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
trying to
you know,
calculate.
Yeah.
How
many?
How,
How many?
yeah, but
MashaAllah.
it's a
What's your favorite dish through Ramadan?
I gotta-
What? But the you don't eat normally. What's what's the most exotic dish that you have during Ramadan?
I wouldn't say exotic, but like it's one that we sort of have only during Ramadan.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Sudani dish.
Okay.
It's called asida,
Okay.
which is basically like a.
You have it for suhoor or iftar?
You have it for iftar.
Okay.
You can have it for suhoor, but
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
to explain it. I think they have it in other Arab countries as well.
Mm.
It's basically like a dough that has been mixed really well to the point where it becomes like
I've had it with you, right?
I think you have it.
Yeah, and you've got that red.
Yeah, and
in the
you
middle.
got the
You have it with
sweet
bread?
little-
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what
Or you
you're
just have it
talking
with spoon?
sugar or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
about. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
It's-
and
it's- It's got a different taste to it.
It's the texture's different.
yeah.
With
it's-
every bite, you want another bite. I'll tell you that much.
We don't have similar.
No, we don't have
So
anything.
it's,
To,
okay.
anything to.
It's nice.
No, but hey,
So you have it with spoon or just
Yeah,
Oh,
you can have it with
bread.
spoon or your hand,
bread,
whatever.
like-
bread? Oh, okay, yeah.
The dough is basically the bread, and it's in
Yeah.
there.
Oh, so it's cooked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have that, during Ramadan, and I mean, what else do we have? The falafel,
Yeah.
the tamiyas and stuff.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have out, the samosas,
Yeah,
these things.
yeah,
you don't
these
get on a
things
regular
that
basis.
you
But
don't
that's
get
the
a-
unique dish that you have
These ones,
purely
yeah.
for Ramadan, you know.
I don't think I haven't had it the past Ramadan because
Samosas?
usually it's my grandmother that makes it, or my mum, or my aunt.
Yeah.
None of them are here.
Ah.
So, and my mother-in-law, she's got a couple of unique dishes as well
Yeah.
from her side of culture as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been having a lot of those.
Oh, those different, yeah?
Just expanding my taste palette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys? I assume you guys will share similar, because
Yeah. No, samosas, all that stuff.
We're all similar, but
Sudanese and
Oh.
Hilib and
The recent.
but also for me, I think it's one of the things that I have is iftar Ramadan. I don't have any other month. Is probably the suhoor dish what do they call it? The qamandi, you know, the
The sharba.
what do they call it?
Harvard.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an English word for it.
Just say Somali. We might be able to.
Yeah.
What is
But
it?
it's
What is it? What is it?
Is it white?
Ser qamandi, you know.
Ser'a.
Sir Kamandi.
You
No,
know.
we're not from the same region now.
What?
Okay,
No.
describe the dish.
Okay,
What's it made out of?
it's kind of like porridge.
It's
Milk.
meaty. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's like sharba. So you
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have it with the spoon or drink it, you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's a different type of porridge.
But
Shorba.
the day I have that,
Yeah.
I don't feel hungry for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one, and
It's like pretty much oatmeal, bro.
it's like a
Yeah.
it's like that.
But the day I have that, you don't feel hungry the whole day.
I have to have
That's why I
variety
look.
though.
That's one of the things I look forward to suhoor because I gotta have that.
Keeps you the energy up.
Yeah,
during the
especially
day,
on my
yeah?
working days, I gotta have that. You know, it keeps, and that glass of milk.
During Ramadan, for me, the biggest struggle is water.
Water?
I love to drink a lot of water,
Yeah,
and not being able to drink water.
Biggest struggle for me is coffee, man.
especially in a couple of years when we have Ramadan during
That's
summer
a
here in
big struggle
Australia.
for us too, man.
In
Especially like
Australia,
4 o'clock
like
for-
in the next
Dry,
couple of years,
yeah.
we're gonna have it in summer, inshallah. You know, and it's the dry heat.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough
Where?
here
Oh yeah. Yeah. What?
in a couple of years, 5-6 years.
It's gonna be-
Ramadan's gonna hit.
It's like February, January, and
Because
Yeah, because it's going back every
it used-
year,
used-
10 days, right? Is it? Yeah,
It
every year.
used to-
Yeah,
It
something.
used to be like that when we were in primary school.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
And the thing is, like, I've got family that had the past couple of Ramadans in Sweden, right?
How was
Sweden,
Ramadan?
and for them, they're fasting 21, 22, 23 hours, right? But for them, it's like 18 degrees, 19 degrees. It's beautiful, you know.
Summer.
So besides the time,
Is that the summer?
that's the summer.
Yeah, 'cause they're up north.
18 degrees, these guys are going in outdoor swimming pools, and I still got to jump on. I still don't
18
understand
degrees
it.
right now, bro. You
18
still got jump.
Yeah, I know. Well, look at this.
Glades from Sweden, I guess.
So
Right.
you had 2 Ramadans in Sweden, eh?
Yeah. So for them, it's more of a time than actual,
yeah,
you
being
know.
able to attend
But for us-
Tarawih and break
ex-
fast and all of these
exactly.
things
In a short period of
But
time.
for us, when it hits summertime,
Oh man.
the heat, you're dehydrated. You gotta go to work.
The road rage.
Oh, the road rage, yeah.
It's a long
I'm
fast.
not-
That is my biggest problem. Road rage.
The
can't
aircon
really
acting
live,
up.
Oh,
First drivers don't know how to drive. It's
I feel sorry for anybody that drives a leather car during.
yeah, that was.
There's so many things that'll take you
Yeah.
off when
How-
you're
how-
fasting
Yeah.
and when it's so hot.
Oh yeah,
So-
oh yeah.
How's Ramadan like in Sydney? Because obviously it gets so much traffic that sometimes you don't make it in time for iftar.
was-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
last year.
depends where
No,
you're
but you-
living.
but you know-
if you're
Yeah.
living in the heart of the west, like
Yeah.
you know,
Obviously it depends where you
the
No,
work.
but
too,
see-
you know?
Bankstown and all of these
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
you know, that's basically where the majority of the Muslim population is.
Yeah.
Bankstown, Lakemba, Auburn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're living within that region, you get a real good taste of.
No, but
Ramadan.
the question that you asked is like if you're trying to get somewhere for iftar and because of traffic
Or
you don't
just
make it.
finished work in
But
the
the
city or
beautiful
whatever.
thing, but the
and
beautiful
you
thing
just
about
go
Sydney,
Yeah, no,
but the beautiful thing about Sydney
you won't
is
be able to make it.
Yeah.
yeah, but the beautiful thing is it's okay. You might not make it to where you're going, but you can pull over to any restaurant. There's the variety of halal
Yeah, there's
restaurants
something
Yeah,
on
that
that.
actually. And the thing I love about it is like they've got like Ramadan menus, which is different.
Oh,
You know, like even in the restaurant, it's like just different.
So they got
Man,
that
I
dates,
used
sambusas.
I used to walk to the masjid,
Mhm.
and you know, in Auburn.
Okay.
Once you get to Auburn, there's
Yeah.
like at least 6 masjids
Yeah.
within walking range.
Yeah.
Walking distance, mashallah.
At least 6, and they're
Yeah.
building one huge one as
Yeah.
well. But
Like
like
that
just
30-story?
that
In Auburn?
that accessibility. Yeah, they're building. a
Oh
really
wow,
huge one.
mashallah.
Wow.
Just to have that accessibility, you know, to just be able
Yeah.
to go within walking distance and be near a masjid.
And all the halal restaurants are all within walking distance
You gotta
too.
go, man.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotta go.
Well, I remember we used to walk around sometimes and be like, "Yo, where do we eat? We don't know.
Follow
What,
your nose.
what do we want?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Traffic's
So-
only an issue when you're living a bit.
Yeah.
Or if you're trying to go somewhere,
It's a good thing with about Perth. You can be far. You can still make it home for
Yeah.
iftar. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
10, 15
That's a good
minutes,
thing
20
about,
minutes.
you know.
Everywhere's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But then I realized with Perth, just off topic, even though you can get everywhere in 10, 15 minutes, you decide to delay your departure because you're like, I
Because
can
you
get
can
in there in
make
10,
it,
15 minutes, and
yeah.
then you don't make it either way. You know what I
But
mean?
the good
So
thing,
it's-
I don't know if you realize, but in Perth in the last couple of years, a lot of places do iftar now. Like, you know, you go the curtain masala does iftar.
Oh yeah, a lot of mosques.
There's-
Mashallah.
just in the south area,
Mm.
there's about
It's
6, 7
growing,
different places that do iftar, and that's every day of the 30 days.
Do you guys normally have iftar at your house and
Yeah.
then mix it up and just go here and there? Like for us, it's it's just a must. Like I have to go to my in-laws' house. My wife and my child and everyone just comes there. It's like the headquarters.
Yeah.
You come there and you check in.
Yeah.
If you don't check in, they'll start calling you.
They'll start calling,
where are you?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get that really good family vibe, and it's like every single day.
We got big families, so that doesn't really happen. It's
Yeah,
stay
it's,
at your house.
yeah.
And then go to masajid
Doesn't
here
work
and there
out.
once in a while, pretty much.
I think this Ramadan is setting procedure for me. I mean, first Ramadan married, so seeing how the in-laws do it, see how my family does it. Most likely we'll probably just either invite or go down. You know what I mean? But should be interesting, inshallah.
Man, after all this talk, bro, I'm excited about
Oh,
Ramadan.
wallah,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
But
I'm
usually,
ready for it.
I'm super excited.
I'm
bro.
ready
I
for
want to
it.
eat, man.
Yeah, you've been quiet. Like his energy is so low. Like,
They can't see, but there's food set the others behind the camera. This guy's been staring that way the whole
Yeah,
time.
that way. Nah, but I think on that note, man, we'll wrap it up for today. Inshallah, you guys have a blessed month. Make the most out of your Ramadan. Don't be like Elmi, a crammer last minute.
Yeah.
Take action from now, and inshallah, catch you guys
And
next
help
week.
out.
help out.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.